In today's topic, I'm going to be talking about falling, because at the age of 69 years old, I had a terrible fall. And did you know that adults 65 and over, if you fall and break something, that you have a 50% mortality rate? And according to the World Health Organization, adults 65 and older account for the majority of these falls globally. So I thought it was important to share my journey of my accident and my recovery in the hopes that you can prevent a fall, and even if you do fall, you won't be a statistic. Hi, and welcome to Forever Young. My name's Adele. And I think in sharing my story, I want to give you just a little bit of a backstory of what happened to me. It was January 30th of 2023. Had a lovely Christmas, and my husband had to fly out that day to start a new job out of state. And I had some time on my hands. I had a dentist appointment. Everything was fine, just a little checkup. And on my way home, I decided, I think I'll do a little shopping. I had my new boots on, my scarf. I was all doozied up and feeling good. And I was a little hungry, so I thought, let me stop and have a little snack. Usually I don't have this much time on my hands, so I thought, I'll do some shopping after Christmas. So I pulled into my driveway in my garage of my place, and I noticed that my boots were a little bit slippery on the bottom, so I kind of, ground them out a little on the cement. And went upstairs, walked into my condo, and I opened the front door, and my right heel just kind of slipped, and my left leg went flying into the air into a beautiful splits about 2 feet up, and then I landed down. And it was the most painful experience, and I've broken bones before, that I've ever had. So immediately my keys flew over to the other side of the room, and my little cat Belle was looking at me just howling and screaming because I couldn't get up and she didn't know what happened. And I could see the keys over in the distance right by her. Luckily, my cell phone fell out on the floor right in front of me, and I was able to call 911. And 3 handsome firemen came to rescue me off of the floor. I was holding my leg in excruciating pain. I remember that the fireman kept saying, look at me, look at me, just keep looking in my eyes. I was starting to go in and out of consciousness. The pain was so unbearable. Never had anything like it. He'd just say, keep looking at me, keep looking at me. You're going to be okay. We're going to take you to the hospital. And in between this, they tried to lift me, and I was holding my leg, and I completely almost fainted. I couldn't move. I mean, they couldn't move me at all. And I became sopping wet, like somebody took a bucket of water and just put it over my head. I was just drenched. I don't know why that phenomenon happens, but they started taking off my scarf and my jacket, and you're going to be okay, you're going to be okay. I was worried about leaving my cat. There was no one around. I was by myself. And isn't that how us pet lovers are? Even though I was in excruciating pain, and they finally had to go get a chair to put me backwards where I could still kind of hold on to my leg as they put me in the ambulance. Now, my children are several hours away, but one of them had gotten the car and started driving to the ER and met me there. At that time, I was just in such terrible pain. It was just amazing. I couldn't do anything. It was excruciating. They gave me pain pills. They gave me shots. They did all kinds of things to alleviate my pain, and nothing was stopping it. So they had to do scans and different tests. They had to pick me up on a whole blanket because I couldn't move. And they came back many, many hours later and said, well, you didn't break anything. Well, I was relieved because I hear about people breaking bones and everything, but what could be causing this incredible pain? I mean, it was so bad. After several shots, they tried to get me up so I could go home. They thought, well, maybe you just really, really badly bruised yourself. But my daughter and I were looking at each other like, she'd never seen me like this. So I knew something was just terribly wrong. Eventually, they were able to pick me up and get me to the car. I came home at the bottom of my condo building, and my daughter tried to put chairs from upstairs that I could lean on, but nothing worked until I finally had to get down on my butt. And in ice skating, we used to have something called a shoot the duck, where you'd take one leg out and you'd stand it out, and I scooted on my butt all the way into the elevator. I didn't want anybody to see me. And I got in there and finally got to my bed, and I stayed there for a week. I could not even get up to go to the bathroom. My family took turns kind of taking care of me, and I thought, I was going to get better. And time went on, and finally somebody came over. Well, that's my cat there. She's always in the bedroom now. A lady came over to try to take care of me and give me homeopathics, and she was so sweet and cooked for me because I couldn't get in the kitchen because there were stairs in our condo. So she said, you're not bruising. Oh, I'm thinking, well, maybe eventually this is going to heal. I can get some crutches and get around. Well, I ended up following up at an orthopedic surgeon like they had told me to do, and I didn't walk in there. I had to go in a wheelchair, but when I got in there, by that time my leg was bruised from the top of my hip all the way down to the back of my knee, black and blue. I have a picture of it there for you to see up there. And she took one look at me and she said, "You're going to need a hammy guy." And I said, "What do you mean, a hammy guy?" And she goes, "The best surgeon in town, and luckily, many people don't do this surgery." I said, "What do you mean surgery? I don't need surgery. Aren't I going to get better?" She says, "Well, I've never been wrong, but I think you're going to need surgery." So I ended up having the MRI. I saw the surgeon, and he said, "You have to have surgery, like tomorrow or the next day." So, of course, my husband flew home. And the diagnosis was a full hamstring avulsion. And what that means is that the hamstring completely tore off my pelvic bone and it had to be reattached. It's a very intense surgery. He told me that the recuperation period could be as long as 18 months. So I was pretty depressed about that, but I had the surgery. I finally got home. He said I would need 24-hour care because I'd be in a full-length brace that was kind of bent. And that was the beginning of a long, grueling type of recovery. So I had that brace on, and I pretty much stayed in the bedroom for a month, and probably about a month, a little bit longer. I couldn't really move. I couldn't do much. Several weeks later, my husband would bring food in, and the cat was with me. I call her my little nurse. Here she is. She's so cute. She stayed with me forever, and to this day, she still eats in the bedroom. She will not eat in the kitchen anymore, which is a terrible thing, but I keep putting the food in, and she goes back in the bedroom. She thinks that's where she belongs now, in the bedroom. So we pretty much stayed in the bedroom, and he kept bringing me food and took very good care of me. Finally, a PT guy came, physical therapy at the house, and my exercise was to take the brace off lying down with my legs straight on the bed. My husband would tie a little tie around my foot, and I was able to take my leg and move it 4 inches and 4 inches and 4 inches and 4 inches. And then I had another exercise where I had to tighten my buttocks and then loosen it. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I had to do those 3 sets of 15, 3 to 4 times a day, every day. And that was the extent of my exercise. So it was hard, but finally I was able to go to physical therapy. One day, I had to take the wheelchair still. I still wasn't able to even get around on crutches, but my husband took me outside so I could be in the patio and get some sun, and I looked at my atrophied leg, and I was just amazed that something like that could happen that quick with the muscles I had. It was like I was 90 years old. So I knew I had a lot of work to do. But anyway, I ended up, going to physical therapy at the gym, and I started my grueling exercises. So at that time I was on crutches, and then I was finally off the crutches, but you can't bend at the waist at all. So washing your face is like you have to put the water up like this and then let it drip down. Brushing your teeth was like, just bending over a little to rinse your mouth. I couldn't put my shoes on. It was crazy. There's so many things you can't do when you can't bend, and you can't bend for quite a while. But eventually at my workout, I was able to start working out with weights. And little did I know that I started from Pilates and dancing and my dance shows every year, 6 hours a day training, to being in a full-length brace, to a wheelchair, and to crutches. But I was determined to get better. And, you know, I had some grueling exercises I had to do, especially with one leg. And who would have thought that I would be able to push 150 pounds with one leg, and I can do that today. My recovery has been great. I had a wonderful people in my circle that have helped me. I learned that things happen, they happen for you and not to you. And I heard that a long time ago, and I didn't understand that. But I actually became much stronger. I became stronger as a person and more confident. And I got to see what the important things in life are and how to stay very healthy. So I was very lucky that my lifetime commitment of exercise, Pilates, dancing had really saved me. So strength training is a major component of this. And I've said it in my other video that strength training is so important, and I hope that everybody will think about this, especially if you're 50 and over, as you're losing muscle, that you'll stay strong. And if you have had a fall, there's some things that I did actually that were very helpful. And I'm going to show some of those things to you because if any of you are out there watching this and you have fallen, or if you know someone or have a parent or anything that's going through rehabilitation, maybe they're in a wheelchair or they're in their bed, or you know, they're trying to recuperate. I have this little thing. This is called a grabber. This little thing here, you go like this and it grabs stuff. This thing was a miracle for me. One day I dropped the bread out of the refrigerator and my husband wasn't home, and it fell on the floor, and I couldn't get it because the grabber was in the back of the house by the bathroom where I was earlier. I had crutches by then. So I kept kicking that bread and kicking that bread. I couldn't get it up. I went back to the bathroom and the grabber was there and it fell in the bathtub. So I was stuck until he came home with the bread on the floor. This is just some of the trials and tribulations of having a full hamstring avulsion. So this little thing is good for anybody. I got this at Amazon. I belong to a group called athletes, injured athletes, and they told me about this, and it was a lifesaver. And then of course I got a shower chair, a very sturdy one. I tried out two. This one was the best. I'll put that in the description if anybody's hurt and needs something that's sturdy and not too expensive. I had a seat thing that I have to sit on. I'm actually sitting on it now because it's so comfortable. I sit on it when I work on my computer. I don't have to, it just feels great. I tried on several of those seat cushions. This one was the only one. It was a little more expensive, but I tried out 3 and they all hurt. And finally, those people on the that have the accidents all over the country, that the group I belong to, told me this was, that was the one, and I'll put that in a picture and you can see it if anybody's interested in getting that. Very comfortable, and for any kind of hip problems or just a sore bottom, would be great to use that. So that's another thing. And then last but not least, I have this thing. This is called a Hypervolt. This thing is amazing for anybody that has arthritis or sciatica. I have scoliosis, so if you have anything like that, if you've gone through surgery, you wouldn't want to use it right away, because my physical therapist recommended this. You would want to use it, after, to break down scar tissue, but heal up a little bit first, before you do anything like that. But even if you're not hurt and you're an avid exerciser, this thing has saved me. And in my house, I have so many things because I had back issues for years from my ice skating career. And I have a back swing and a massager and cupping and you name it. I'm going to do a whole video on some of these things. And they work, to make you feel better and to heal your muscles. But this thing is phenomenal. I'm going to try to turn it on. You push it here. Watch it not go on now because I'm on the camera. Oh, it may need to be charged because I use it a lot. Wouldn't you know the charge had run out now? But you just press it here, and it has different, different temperatures or firmness on your body, and then you can put it here, put it on your legs. Hypervolt. It comes with different attachments and a whole video on it. It comes with a thing where you can watch the video online. So this is another thing. I'll put it in the description. Even if you're an avid exerciser, runner, whatever, this is amazing. I really do want to do a whole video on this, and I may do that. But I hope that you found some of this information helpful and interesting. If you have anybody in your family that has had an accident, or if you have, I hope you'll share some of the things that you've discovered to stay strong and healthy. Let's keep the conversation going down in the comments. I hope you'll like this video and you'll subscribe. I have many more videos coming that have to do with health and fitness, how I stay strong, how I recovered completely. I mean, the only thing that I have not tried to do yet is the splits, because that was kind of my claim to fame. I knew how to do the splits, and it was kind of like a party joke. People would say, no, we don't believe you, and I'd just do the splits. But I haven't done that. I'm still a little scared to stretch that hamstring too much. But other than that, I'm very flexible and I'm doing great. And I hope that this information has been helpful for you. I hope you'll like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video.